It is a beautiful day outside in Orlando, Florida. It's really nice, really hot. We're not in California no more, people. But anyway, this is my video on the 5 things that I hate about my 2013 Audi A6 3.0 T Quattro. Coming up with 5 things are actually kind of hard because I really like this car. I really do. So I've been thinking long and hard about what are the 5 things I might dislike about this car, hate or whatever, and come up with this video. So let's get started. I don't know what my black ass doing out here. I'm gonna get bit by a snake or something. But anyway, the first thing I don't like about this car is one day I pulled up to a Walmart, went in and got something, came out, and I was parked next to a Kia Forte. And from the back, y'all, you see where I'm going with it? Like, kind of gives off them Kia Forte vibes. I don't really like that. I don't really like looking like I could put a Kia sign on it and nobody would know the difference. So that's probably the first thing I dislike. It is a super nice day in Florida today, and it's extremely hot. So my number 2 thing that I don't like about my 2013 Audi A6, blah, 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 my C7, right, is I didn't like the stock wheels. I thought they were just kind of, I don't know. So I found a set of S6 wheels and threw those on. I am running 12.5 millimeter ECS tuning spacers and a 255/35 20 tire, and you will get this look. I'm not lowered on anything, stock suspension. My suspension up here, something's broke, so it looks a little lower right there than back there, but that's pretty much it. Some S6 wheels. Makes the car look really good, kind of makes it stand out a little bit. Really classy, OEM plus. I'm not one of those super OEM plus guys. I'm just throw whatever on your car that you enjoy. But this was a nice little touch because I didn't know what kind of wheels I wanted to put on this car. So it's like, this got me started, just got me in the game, you know, until I figure out what kind of offsets and all the stuff that I want to do with this car. I do want some other wheels, a little bit more of an aggressive feel, and you know, a little bit more of an aggressive stance since I am in Florida now, and Florida's really flat. Everything's flat in Florida. You can drive anything in Florida. So I go just a little lower. I'm not gonna go like hella flush or nothing like that, or stance boy low, but just a little lower on some 20s, you know, a little bit more of an aggressive wheel and tire setup, and that's it. But that's one thing I didn't like about this car was those stock wheels, the ones that look like snowflakes. Yeah, those. If you got those, no disrespect, it's all good. Just throw some S6s on. I just told you all the specs. Number 3. Like, where did all this rain come from? It's about to start pouring. But anyway, the third thing that I dislike about my car is the fact that it's an automatic transmission. And I get it. The ZF transmission is amazing. I love it. It's fun. Sport mode is really fun. But you know, I come from an era of stick shifts and clutches and heel towing and left foot braking and all that stuff like that. And this is, I get that this is not the car you do all that stuff in. If I wanted that, you should have got an S4. But it would be pretty amazing if this car had a 6-speed in it. I'm not dissing the ZF, I love it actually. But how much more fun would it be if it had a 6-speed in it? If it had an extra pedal, you know, so you can, you know, yeah, I can't do it in this car, you know. You know what I mean? But anyway, 6-speed transmission. That's my number 3. The 4th thing I dislike about my car when I first got it, I've already changed this, but is if you get a 3.0 T motor, swap your intake. The stock intake, you have a supercharger, so swap it. Get you something, you know, this is an engine unit, and you can look at my car, it's extremely dirty, and it's got a lot of bad things I don't want y'all to see right now, but if you get a car, you get a 3.0 T, grab you an intake, man. You know, it's gonna open it up, hearing that supercharger sound actually motivates you to want to do more, because you're like, oh, it's supercharged. So it's like, you know, get your intake, man. I'm really really feel nothing power-wise. I'm sure there's not too much power-wise, but the sound is where you benefit from with these things. So go ahead and grab you one. 034 makes one, IE makes one, CTS makes one. You know, there's a lot of companies that make one. You can make one yourself, like C7 owners did. There's a lot of options for it. So get your intake, hear that supercharged sound. That was my number 4. Although I already replaced it, it would have been the stock intake. You can't hear anything with the stock intake. With this intake, I sound like Hellcat. No, I don't. Sometimes. But anyway, get your intake. I know y'all can't see it, but it is raining. And I'm standing right here. But the 5th thing and the final thing that I dislike about my C7 is the fact that this thing eats oil a little bit. So in between oil changes, you will be adding oil to your car, unless you got some sort of perfect motor or something like that that's completely sealed up, but you will be adding oil in between oil changes. So, you know, I'll keep like an extra quart in the car just in case, and I check here and there, but it does consume a decent amount of oil. It's not like absolutely crazy, but it's a little bit more than normal, or not losing oil at all. So that's another thing. And the 5th thing I hate about my car is that every about month or so, I'll check, every couple of weeks, I'll check the oil level just to make sure we're good. Because you don't want to run out of oil in these cars. You don't want to run out of oil in any car. And it's just a good check to check up on, especially with these cars, because they consume oil. I appreciate everybody for watching my video. If you like it, like the video, subscribe if you like to, drop a comment down there, tell me how I did, give me some advice, drop me your YouTube, your Instagram, anything, and I'll follow you. Hit me up, let's stay together, spread love, be peaceful.